I didn't think I could do this today. I've had so many waves of them. I miss her like mad. You have no idea. It just gutted me. It's gutted the whole family, and we have waves of emotion. I don't think it's ever going to go away.
I want you all to remember, I want you to keep her alive and talk about her, because talking about her is keeping her alive, and you know, talk to her even. I do. I talk to her every day, and I'll never forget her. She will always be in my heart. She is such a special, wonderful person.
46 years old. She was powerful. She was a real life superhero.
I feel that Alison has now ascended to the next level. In my mind, she's surrounded by beauty and 1,000 soft hugs, and there is no more pain or anguish.
But that was my daughter, and I love her dearly. And I'm so glad you people turned up, because it just blows me away. You know, I don't know how I'm going to get over this, because I had these terrible waves of emotion. Because I love all my kids. I love them all. You know, we had the best of time. We went on trips. We did this and did that. We were a real family. You know, and to lose such a genius, that's how I can describe it. Everything she did was just incredible.
And she spent her whole life doing that, helping people, caring for people. She had such compassion and such empathy, and she just would do anything for anyone. And she cared more for other people than she did for herself.
Alison is by far the strongest person I've ever met and the most resilient. Even during times of extreme and relentless pain, the light and gratitude of life shone in her eyes. She captivated everyone. She was so polite to all the nurses still, even when she was suffering so badly.
I hear your voice every time it rains. The sky is leaking. Freshly squeezed cloud juice. I carry you with me always. I miss how funny you were.
Hello and good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the celebration of Alison's life. I'm your MC, Andrew Goh, and wow, look at this crowd. Look at all the drip, look at all the flair. Thank you all for this overwhelming show of support, especially those that have travelled from country and interstate. We know Alison would be touched, and we appreciate your patience and understanding toward the challenges of such a full house. When Alison was born in Torquay, Devonport, England, on the 16th of September 1977, her parents, Phil and Julie, had no idea how such a tiny, beautiful, bright-eyed girl was going to create such a dynamic impact on their lives and the world. The Bennett family immigrated to Australia in 1981 and settled in Happy Valley, or Nappy Valley, as it was known back then due to all the young families in the neighbourhood. Alison was already a chatterbox, well-spoken, loved books, had a vivid imagination and oozed creativity. She advanced beyond her years and had natural talent for anything she put her mind to. She attended jazz and tap dancing classes at the Desanine Dance Studio with her sister Christina, and made such wonderful friendships during those years. She loved performing on stage at the Festival Theatre and would be so hyped up before performances it would infectiously raise the energy of her dance troupe. She was a high achiever at school, winning awards in academic merit as well as the Year 12 Award of Excellence in Dance presented by the local Member of Parliament. Alison had a keen interest in fashion. She sought out work experience at couture fashion boutiques and went on to study fashion design and pattern making. Everything Alison did was with great passion. As a teenager, she stood out rocking various hairstyles and vibrant colours. She would scour the op shops for 60s and 70s clothing, creating her own unique styles. She loved the 90s underground music and rave parties. Because of her unique look, she was asked to work front of house in Adelaide's bar and club scene, combining her love of dance, music and fashion. Just before the new millennium, Alison moved to Melbourne to experience their exciting lifestyle. After returning to Adelaide, Alison started her own business making fashion clothing under the name Zenda Queen. In 2014, Alison began her professional writing advanced diploma. This is where she discovered that writing and performing poetry gave voice to her experiences. With her background in fashion, dancing, and writing, she had all the elements to create and perform many amazing works of art. Alison was a natural. Poetry was her thing, and when she performed on open mic nights, it went off. Alison was also passionate about increasing the awareness of accessibility of venues and live art experiences for all, which led her to the creation of her Instagram page, Accessible Adelaide. That is just a small insight into Alison Bennett, also known as Alison Paradox, fashionista, performing artist, poet, author, advocate, collaborator, friend, sister, daughter, partner.
I just want to say I've spent my life on stage touring England in a band, playing with Kinks, The Who, bands like that, Pink Floyd, all that sort of stuff. And then when I came to Adelaide, I had 3 children, and they all got into showbiz, all 3 of them. How bloody lucky am I? Tell me. My son tours the world. He's been all over the planet playing his guitar. And he plays heavy metal music, but that's all right. One day I'll get past track 3 on his CD, I'm sure. And my daughter, who runs Hyperdance. Any Hyperdance people here, please? Woo! Get the hell out of here. It gets around, doesn't it? From day one, I can tell you, we knew we had something special in the family. We did. And Alison was one of these kids who loved her dad, loved her mum in different ways, but dad was a dummy to play with. Right? I had to put up with it, okay? She'd sit next to me on the couch, Dad, I love you so much. I can't believe what you do. And poke me in the ear, poke me in the eye, pick up my cheek. Oh, your hair's beautiful. Oh, you better get that sorted out. Blah, blah. And that was Alison all the time, all the time. And when we were young, it was nothing unusual to walk into the house, see Alison inside of a door frame. Like this. And I'd say to her, what are you doing up there, Alison? I'm Spider-Man. I don't know how she did it. She'd be able to turn her bones and do blah, 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 and do that. It's incredible. Right, okay. She used to sit in the corner and read books, Roald Dahl, all that sort of Lord of the Rings, you name it. Highly intellectual, highly intellectual. We had these great conversations about this and that and the world, right? And she'd sort of think, like, I like games, I like fun, I like this. And we used to have this game we played, Christina and Alison and myself. Used to drive Jules up the wall. The idea was Dummy would lay on the floor in the fetal position, right? Alison would then get a sheet and put it over me, right? And they would literally beat the bowls on the floor with pillows. The idea was that don't wake up the sleeping giant, because the sleeping giant will get you. Alison used to go, oh, oh, bang, 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 bang. He's coming now. And a hand would come out underneath the sheet, grab her by the ankle, and she would scream. I am telling you, you have not heard her scream. I'm going to say that I can only describe Alison in a couple of words really. She's into David Bowie big time. We all were. There was 24 hours music in our house every day. Every day. We were listening to everything, right? And they loved it. And I would say she was one of the original spiders from Mars. Absolutely, because she crept around and she had these long fingers, and you've seen all that, and the long nails, and she had this thing about her, you know? Just before she died, Alison had a thing about missing birthdays and Father's Days. It really quite hurt her. She was in hospital. I'm not going to go into that. There's a lot of people here who know her and know her situation. So Alison, my darling Alison, would write a little voucher, like a rain check. Is that what they used to call it? A rain check. And I'll read it out to you because it's really quite heartbreaking. This voucher entitles the bearer to a complimentary meal at the Yum Sing Chinese restaurant. As a family, we used to go to the Yum Sing China restaurant and we really loved it, so that's good. And it says, conditions may apply. Only to be redeemed in the company of Alibo. Right, I have to put my glasses on now because the writing gets smaller because there's copyright involved here, Right, here we go. When you get something like this from a girl that's in hospital and is very, very sick, it just breaks your heart. Voucher can be used at any restaurant of choice of gift bearer. If Dadster is sick of the Sing. Voucher can only be redeemed after the 21st of January 2024, when our bear is in town to accompany the father. Right. Alcohol beverages are included in the gift and are strongly advised prior to, during and after the meal, providing Alison is included in consumption. I saw in the corner, this room, small room, and it had 2 bunks, desks, and a set of drawers. And I thought to myself, I've got it. So I got back to the house and started building. 2 big bunks, 2 desks, drawers, space in the middle, you put all your teddies, so they're facing you, right? And it had all this space free over here. It's wonderful. And my daughter Christina, who's very wise, said, Dad, I'm just going to put a piece of, I think it was wool or cotton, down the centre of the room. That's your side, Alison, and that is my side. Okay? Now, Christina is immaculate. All the books on the desk piled up, all the pencils in the box properly, all the shoes lined up under the desk, bed made, hospital corners, Teddy's all sitting there looking round. They used to turn 362, I've been worried about that. Alison's side of the room, mayhem. Absolute mayhem. And we used to say, Alison, Christina can't get into the bedroom. She can't open the door. But that was my daughter. And I love her dearly. And I'm so glad you people turned up because it just blows me away, you know. I don't know how I'm going to get over this because I have these terrible waves of emotion because I love all my kids. I love them all, you know. We had the best of time. We went on trips. We did this and did that. We were a real family, you know. And to lose such a genius, I don't know what I can describe it. Everything she did was just incredible. I'd like to conclude my speech. Thank you so much for coming. I really
Just to actually add a little footnote to Phil's story about the bedroom. There was a masking tape across the floor, but the biggest problem was Alison used to leave, like he said, all of her clothes everywhere. And I used to sometimes, while they were at school, I'd pick up a big bundle of clothes, take them outside and chuck them outside the front door. Alison would come in, pick them all up, and chuck them all back in the bedroom. So it was never resolved. I want to tell you something totally different. There are people from interstate who are here today, very special dear friends of mine. Patsy and Lex are in the front row here. Patsy has been my rock. They lost their daughter, Trini, when she was only 20. And Alison and Trini used to phone each other from their hospital beds, so they got quite close. And she's been my absolute rock, because I know that she knows exactly what I went through, and it is not a nice experience to lose a child. So thank you so much for being so good to me. It's just been so wonderful to have you with me. I just made a few notes, things I want to just talk about. I guess I want to welcome all of you, of course, as Phil did. But most importantly, what I want to do is tell you something about Alison when she was a very little girl, because it was before all of you knew her, and it was something quite personal between her and I. What happened was she was burnt, she had a terrible accident, and she was in the Women's and Children's Hospital. It used to be the Women's Hospital. The Children's Hospital, I mean, no, the Women's and Children's Hospital. And there were doctors there who treated burns patients and children with awful facial deformities. Anyway, after a couple of days, Alison was allowed up, so in we went into the playroom. And most of the kiddies were playing together quite happily, but Alison spotted one little child all alone. And she picked up some toys, went across the room and sat down and started playing. They didn't speak each other's language. Neither of them knew what was going on, but she saw someone who needed a friend. And it was at that point that I realised that, well, looking back, not then of course, but now looking back, I realised that that was the occasion, that was the thing that set her off on the road to helping others. She just knew when somebody needed a friend. And she spent her whole life doing that, helping people, caring for people. She had such compassion and such empathy, and she just would do anything for anyone. And she cared more for other people than she did for herself, and I think you all know that. She had something about her that attracted people. They all knew that she was there to help and to care and be understanding and compassionate and gentle, and she was always there for everyone. But all I want to say is to keep. I had to write this bit down just so I didn't forget. Just to remember her. I want you all to remember. I want you to keep her alive and talk about her, because talking about her is keeping her alive, and talk to her even. I do. I talk to her every day, and I'll never forget her. She will always be in my heart. She is such a special, wonderful person. She's with me everywhere I go, and I love you, my darling. I'll always love you, and you're always going to be part of me. And I'm sorry I ended that on a sad note. I didn't mean to, but just remember her, please. Thank you.
Words are flowing out like endless rain into a paper cup. They slither wildly as they slip away across the universe. Pools of sorrow, waves of joy are drifting through my opened mind, possessing and caressing me. Change my world. Nothing's gonna change my world. Nothing's gonna change my world. Nothing's gonna change my world. Images of broken light which dance before me like a million eyes. They call me on and on across the universe. For puts me under like a restless wind inside a letterbox. They tumble blindly as they make their way across the universe. Jackaroo David. Oh, nothing's gonna change my world. 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 Sounds of laughter, shades of life are ringing through my open ears, inciting and inviting me. Limitless undying love which shines around me like a million suns. It calls me on and on across the universe. Jackaroo David. Oh, nothing's gonna change my world. 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 Jackaroo David. Jackaroo David. Jackaroo
I only knew you for a while. I never saw your smile till it was time to go away. Time
So yeah, I've got some stuff here that I said. We had a very sort of nice, quiet little private family funeral for my sister, and this was more what it was all about. I don't think I'm really going to use these notes. I just want to, the last sort of few months, I miss her a lot. I can feel her energy in here today, the profound impact that she had on everyone. It's very strong. I'm very into energy and feeling the energy of the people around me, and I give my right arm to give her a hug right now, I tell you. I guess we don't really want to touch on, you know, the health issues that my sister had. I just want to sort of say hypermobile Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. The stats for survival, not very good. Eating disorders, again, the stats aren't very good. Severe scoliosis, not very good. A childhood accident, you know, resulting in her getting burnt and all of that. 46 years old. She was powerful. She was a real life superhero. I can put that in perspective. It's funny how we, you know, after things like this happen, you sort of reflect and you put things in perspective. And I showed a photo to my mum of my sister performing on stage, and we were both kind of upset. My mum said, "Oh, how did she do it? I don't understand how she did it. She did it with her superpower. Her talent and her energy and everything. She was the star of our family. She just eclipsed anyone in our family. Has all the amazing things that I've been lucky enough to do and achieve in my life with my music career, and my other sister with her dance school and all the things that she's achieved, and my parents, they're both amazing people. And Alison, she just totally eclipses all of it. I'm gobsmacked by it every day. I think of her every day. Things have taken on a new meaning. You know, I love green. Green's my favourite colour. Purple, she loved green and purple. And I've got a green guitar, so I play my guitar and I think of my sister. I hear David Bowie, I think of my sister. Lyrics from my favourite songs, you know, I've seen your face 100 times every day we've been apart. It takes a new meaning now. I'm not even going to attempt to try and perform or read any of her poetry because I need an instrument and an amps to express my artistic abilities. So I want to read some lyrics from one of my favourite bands. I've picked this song because it has some French verses, and Alison loves France, especially Montmartre and all of that. She really wanted to get back over there again, but unfortunately she couldn't. So I would just like to read this piece of music. So as you read this, know my friends, I'd love to stay with you all. Please smile. Smile when you think of me. My body's gone, that's all. If my heart was still alive, I know it would surely break. And my memories left with you, there's nothing more to say. Moving on is a simple thing. What it leaves behind is hard. I hate this bit. You know the sleeping feel no more pain, and the living all are scarred. À tout le monde, à toutes mes amis, je vous aime, je dois partir. And for those of us who can't speak French, to everyone, to all my friends, I love you all, I have to leave. These are the last words I'll ever speak, and they'll set me free. I found this in an old drawer. This is a birthday card Alison sent me for, it says 2002, so it was for my 19th birthday, which at the time she just decided that she wanted to live in Melbourne, so she went to Melbourne. And she didn't have anyone she knew in Melbourne or a place to live in Melbourne, and we didn't have social media or anything like that. So she just went there and walked into a pub and said, I need a place to live. Can I work for you cleaning dishes and you give me a place to stay? And this is just it's crazy, right? Well, obviously she didn't have much money, and so she's handmade me a birthday card, hand cut out all these stars, and I mean, just look at the handwriting and everything. It's just such a great insight into just how caring and artistic and expressive she was. And yeah, I'm so glad I have this. I put it in a frame. It lives on my wall in my bedroom because she was just amazing. And yeah, I don't really have anything more to say, really. She was just amazing. I think we can all give her a round of applause for just how unbelievable she was. So thank you so much, Lily, for coming down today and helping us celebrate the life of Alison. That's what she really wanted. Thank you.
It's been such a huge lead up to the day today. And it's kind of, you know, that feeling where you just kind of go, oh wow, this is it. It's actually happening after all the months leading up. And I was trying to visualise standing up here looking out over this crowd and how that would feel and what that would be like, because I was trying to mentally prepare myself for that. And yeah, it's exactly as I expected. It's just a sea of faces of amazing people that are in Alison's life and our lives. And I too am very nervous, like Andrew said. You know, some of the people here from the arts scene in Adelaide, people that I look up to and respect and admire, people that Alison would respect and admire as well, friends from back in the day, people that have travelled from interstate and country areas. It's just mind-blowing. So thank you so much, everyone, for being here. It's just absolutely wonderful. And thank you for being so understanding about the crowd situation and not everyone getting a seat and all of that kind of stuff. So I'm actually going to read my speech from my phone because I think if I try to ad-lib, I'm not as charismatic as my dad and my brother who can just get up here and do it. So, yeah, I'm just going to stick to the script, I think. So, I'd like to start with a little story about Alison, which sums up how I felt about her from the day she was born and right throughout her life. When Alison was born, I was only 19 months old. Mum came up the stairs one day to find that I'd climbed up into Alison's cot. And from where she was standing, it actually looked like I was sitting on top of her. So you can imagine Mum's horror as she flew across the room to check that I hadn't smothered the new baby. What she found was that I had actually managed to climb into the cot, and I was very carefully sitting. I don't know how I did it, but I scooted down the corner of the cot. I had one leg this side and one leg this side of Alison, and I was just sitting there and just looking at her and staring at her. And I was just so intrigued by her. And that's I guess now looking back, that was a defining moment in our lives because I felt like that about Alison throughout my life. I've always been intrigued by Alison. I've always been protective of her. I've always cared for her and wanted to be close to her. I admired her for the amazing qualities that she had. We were close growing up and had very similar interests. We were a creative family. The creative gene runs very strong as we were all into music and the arts. Music was a huge part of our childhood. Every weekend we'd have the top 40 video hits shows on. We'd listen to the new songs and predict the hits. We'd guess which song would be number one the following week. We'd talk about and dissect the songs and the video clips. Dad got very excited about music and that rubbed off on us. We have fond memories of going to Dad's gigs to see his band play in the 80s and 90s and falling asleep under the tables with the bags of jackets. Mum was also very creative and was amazing at sewing, knitting, crafts, drawing, painting, and she could sing. I think Alison inherited the sewing and the fashion design gene from Mum. Mum also did ballroom dancing when she was younger, so perhaps this is where the dancing gene came from too. We had such a fun childhood. Alison would scream the place down, as Dad said. We'd play games at home, such as Murderer in the Dark, where we would black out the windows with heavy blankets and chase each other around. You know, this is what we did before we had screens, you know. We made our own fun and we had a great time. We had lots of friends and we had that typical 80s childhood. We spent our weekends playing outside, riding bikes, playing in the many cubby houses that Dad built, and going on adventures with the neighbourhood kids. Remember, there'd always be like the scary man up the hill, like the murderer, and you'd be like, quick, run, he's coming to get us. You know, like you just played for hours and you just came home when it was time for dinner and the street lights came on. Alison was also quite happy playing by herself, and we'd often find her outside down in the back garden talking to the fairies and collecting caterpillars and witchetty grubs. We would both play out the back with our Smurf figurines while we waited. Do you remember the Smurfs, the little Smurf figurines? I think you got them from like the service station or something. We'd both play out the back with those while we waited for the game to load in the Commodore 64 computer. It would sometimes take 45 minutes to load up the cassette. So you'd press play, go play the Smurfs out the back for a while, then you'd come back in and it would say on the screen, syntax error. And you'd be like, oh, now I've got to rewind the tape and start again. So you'd wait 45 minutes to play the game, but once you got it, you'd play it for hours. Alison and I started doing ballet when we were really little and eventually fell in love with jazz and tap dancing. We both danced for years and did many performances together. We also studied dance at school and did dance in Year 12 as well. Our years at the Desilin Dance Studio were absolutely amazing and we made some lifelong friendships. We loved watching movies like Mary Poppins, Annie, Grease. We knew all the songs and all the lines. Alison loved movies like Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, The Never-Ending Story and Labyrinth. She loved reading and Roald Dahl was her favourite author. As we got a bit older, we both discovered techno music, which was an underground scene in Adelaide at the time. We would go to underage raves together until we were old enough to go out properly. And we loved dancing all night and seeing different DJs from around the world. Alison would make the most incredible outfits for these events, and it was a very inclusive environment. And that's really who we were as people. We were very accepting and non-judgmental. And we made lots of friends who were really genuine people and interested in the arts and music just like we were. We would listen to radio shows like Lunacy and Dreaming Daisies and record the songs onto tapes. That was the only place you could hear that music because there was no internet, Spotify or anything else like that. And you know, the mixtape was everything, you know. Alison enjoyed many years in the hospitality industry, working in some really cool cafes and restaurants to pay the bills while she pursued her artistic endeavours. When I'd go to visit her in Melbourne, she'd be so excited to show me all the sights and all the cool little cafes and restaurants. I just admired her so much for doing that because I never would have had the guts to do that. And I really hated saying goodbye. Eventually, Alison returned to Adelaide after her Melbourne adventures. We lived together for 6 years between 2008 and 2014. When Alison first came to live with me, she was very, very ill. I tried my hardest to help and support her. She slowly and gradually got better, and even though there were some tough times, I'm so grateful for these years with my sister. I look back now and I just think, oh, I'm so glad that we lived together for that time because, you know, it's not always easy living with siblings. I mean, it's not always easy living with any housemates, let's be honest. You have your moments, but looking back, I think, oh, I'm so grateful for that time with her to visit family that live over there and travel around Europe. So that was something that she'd always wanted to do and she just had a ball. So I'm really, really glad that she got to see all the sights that she dreamed of. In 2014, Alison started studying at the Adelaide College of the Arts, doing a professional writing advanced diploma. This is where she discovered that writing and performing poetry was an outlet for her to express what she'd been going through, and it gave her a voice. I always knew that Alison would do something with her writing, as she was so incredibly talented. And as Andrew mentioned earlier, she did create the Instagram page called Accessible Adelaide. It'd be really nice if we could keep that page going. Yeah, maybe we can figure something out with that. Awesome. Like the family said, we don't want to dwell too much on the bad times at the very end of Alison's life. But during the time that she was in hospital, we did spend some really special moments together. I gently stroked her hair, kissed her face and held her hands. We told each other we loved each other so much and that we would love each other forever. I told her that it was okay to fall asleep and not to fight it, as she would wake up again. We talked in whispers when she had the strength to. I feel that what I experienced during this time is love in its purest form. And on that note, I would like to mention that some of the nurses and doctors are here with us today from Flinders and also from Glass. They're angels. These people, they are absolute angels. And, you know, in the final weeks of someone's life, it's all about making sure that they're comfortable as they can possibly be. And these nurses and doctors are just incredible. So thank you so much from not just myself, but the whole family for everything that you did. It takes such a huge run-up to write, produce, direct and perform in your own show. And afterwards you need a few weeks to recover from it because it's just so full on. And for her to do what she did with Floral Peroxide and all the other performances is just truly incredible. For someone to do that with the amount of pain she was in and all the different things that she was going through, it's just absolutely incredible.
Didn't know what time it was, the lights were low. Oh, oh. I leaned back on my radio. Oh, oh. Some cat was laying down some rock and roll that I slowly said. Then the loud sound, it seemed to fade. Came back like a slow voice on a wave of fade. That weren't no DJ, that was hazy. There's a starman waiting in the sky. He'd like to come and meet us, but he thinks he'd blow our minds. There's a starman waiting in the sky. He's told us not to blow it, 'cause he knows it's all
Alison and I's story began just over 9 years ago with us commenting on a mutual friend's Facebook post, which in turn became a series of conversations in Messenger. We decided that we're enjoying talking so much, we should meet up and talk in person. So Alison invited me to an art fair. After looking around, we ended up sitting talking. We suddenly realised we're the only people left and the bar started packing up, kind of looking at us like, on your bike, son? It was the coldest night of the year, and we discovered that neither of us remembered where Alison had parked. She assumed because I lived in the city, I'd remember. I've never driven a car. So I assumed that she knew. So we walked around and around in increasing circles, laughing, until we finally found the car. Then we went to a sushi restaurant and kept talking. Again, we were the last people left. Not wanting the conversation to end, we went to a bar until they closed too. Not long after, I invited Alison to the art gallery in the evening for one of those first Friday of the month events. And again, we ended up afterwards continuing our conversation for hours. We realised that despite neither of us expecting it, we were going to be more than friends. We became partners together for 9 years until the day Alison left this world. Alison was studying, had recently started studying to be a writer at TAFE, as Christina mentioned, touched on a lot of this. And I remember one day, she told me she wanted to know about and understand poetry. She didn't get exposed to it as much as she would have liked when she was young and in earlier life. So she chose it as a subject. It was then she discovered it was something she loved and wanted to do. It was at her lecturer's suggestion that she began entering spoken word events to perform her poems, and she entered the world of slam poetry, and she was a star from the start. I went to all the early gigs with her, and people just loved her from the start. She went on to win the State Poetry Slam and became a finalist, as Christina said, in the National Poetry Slam, performance in the Opera House. She found her voice and in turn a way to express her experiences and traumas and disability, and it was a voice that captivated people. She began hosting her own monthly poetry night, giving other poets another space to perform their work. She always loved supporting artists of all kinds. In fact, whenever she brought someone to work, she would always give them a lot more than what they were asking. Sometimes I have to say, Alison. Alison found herself with an opportunity to do a show for the 2019 Fringe. Initially it was just going to be her performing her work solo, but she asked me to join her to create a performance that included sound and music. So we threw ourselves into it. I was designing sounds and music to complement her words, recreating the sounds of her many hospital visits using synthesizers, recordings of various noises, random stuff. I recreated the ambulance sirens, all the machines she was hooked up to, as well as music and endless recordings of her voice that I would manipulate and incorporate into the fabric of her show. Our creative partnership reflected our personal partnership. We worked seamlessly together. Alison was now a producer, bringing Ian Gibbons into the show to do captions, Angelique Joy and their incredible costumes, and Georgina Fry, who was the person who had initially offered Alison the opportunity to host a poetry night and then her Fringe show, joined us as a supporting cast member. Alison was mesmerising. Her show was a hit. She earned 5-star reviews and won the Graham F. Smith Peace Foundation Arts Peace Award. She was so successful, we added a third encore performance. We then spent the next year working further on the show, travelling to Melbourne together to perform it at the Butterfly Club, and 3 shows for the 2020 Adelaide Fringe at Nexus. She was continuously pushing the boundaries of her art. There was always a queue of people after every show wanting to speak to Alison. Unfortunately, no one wanted to speak to me. So I like being in the background. No one ever looked at me. It was like, she would stay though until she'd spoken to every single person. Alison, I watched you soar, transcending your physical self. I saw you reach deep into people's hearts. You reached people who never even got to physically meet you. You became more than a performer. You became a powerful advocate for people with disabilities, and I was so proud of you. The hospital visits increased and grew longer. Her physical disability continued to become more severe. I started grieving for Alison a long time ago, but I was in no way prepared for losing her. Throughout it all, the trauma, the pain, she remained the bravest and strongest person I have ever known. And right up until the end, she only thought of other people. Time is measured differently for me now. It's marked by 10:24 p.m. every night, by every Monday, by every 20th of the month. And Phil, she used to do the same stuff to my face. She'd be like, isn't this annoying you? I'm like, no. I miss our passionate discussions. We used to joke that sometimes if people were listening, they would have thought we were arguing. But we were agreeing so hard. I miss the light you emitted. I miss your strength. I pick up my guitar and I sing, and I hope that you can hear me. Alison, as you always said to me, I love you all the days.
And I just don't want her forgotten. And as long as everyone talks about her and keeps her alive, then that's what counts as far as I'm concerned. And I talk to her every day, and I'll always talk to her, and she's here.
So I'd like to finish by saying, Alison, Alio, Al, Albert, Zen, I love you forever, sis.
I only knew you for a while. I never saw your smile till it was time to go away. Sometimes it's hard to recognize love comes as a surprise, and it's too late. It's just too late to stay. Too late to stay. We'll always be together, however far it seems. We'll always be together, together in electric because the friendship that you gave has taught me to be brave. No matter where I go, I'll never find a better prize. Oh, you're miles and miles away. I see you every day. I don't have to try. I just close my eyes. I close my eyes. We'll always be together, however far it seems. We'll always be together, together in electric dreams. We'll always be.
And to honour Alison's memory, may I ask, be kind to those who have the least. Try to make the world a more inclusive place, embrace community, and help amplify the voices of those who go unheard. Because that's how Alison lived, and how I hope that's how Alison will live on. Thank you.
It is said that the process of acceptance is made up of 5 stages. Denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and lastly, acceptance. These 5 stages, all parts of a framework that assist us to learn how to process loss. The important thing is to stop ourselves viewing change as neither good nor bad. I think there are really 2 parts to the end stage: acceptance and catharsis. Acceptance. What will never be, what we can't control, which is to come. We can't change the body we are born into. We can't change chance and twists of genetic mutation. Accidents, illness, disease, disability. Catharsis, described as the purging of the emotions, especially through certain kinds of art, as tragedy or music. Like rain, purging summer clouds of pent-up humidity. Cathartic rain. My body is not an object of charity. My identity shall not be dictated by a set of outdated societal norms, by clinical terminology, by able-bodied and able-minded people's perceptions. My body is not weaker, not frailer, nor incapable. As the great Leonard Cohen said, ring the bells that still can ring. Forget your perfect offering. There is a crack in everything. That's how the light gets in.
Listen. Can you hear it? The sky is leaking. Freshly squeezed cloud juice, streaking the dust-covered windows, purging itself of pent-up humidity. The sky is leaking. Freshly squeezed cloud juice. A repetitive patter of saltless tears, telling me secrets and kept inside for far too long. The sky is leaking. Sky is pockmarking indecipherable braille on office tower windows as a stippled oil painting of slush congregates around my sodden sneakers. Transparent fingertips press subtitled graffiti tags onto car doors. The sky is leaking. The sky is leaking freshly squeezed cloud juice. A cathartic flood of murmurs wash the concrete pavers, melting plasticine stars into the mud. Listen. Can you hear it? The sky is leaking.
Can swing. Though nothing will keep us together. We can beat them forever.